Introducing the Paddy Power World Darts Championships.
Damon, many congratulations, 3-1 victory. Just sum up to us your emotions after that.
Yeah, a bit disappointing. I didn't hit the double 12. That was all. Yeah, disappointed the crowd, disappointed myself, disappointed them. 60 grand here and there. But nah, look, at the end of the day, it was all about the win. But yeah, I was very frustrated. Oh, 60 grand. Nah, look, got the win, and that was the most important. I felt like I was a bit of the underdog in the game and leading up to it, but yeah, it would have been nice just to top it off with that double 12. What an egg! Yeah.
I don't want to mention it again, but obviously one dart away.
All right, go on then, mention it if you want, mate. You go right ahead. Anyway, we have Acroliba.
Did it feel good when it left the hand?
Yeah, mate. I felt like I was in a zone. Things were happening, and just all the talk, and obviously Christian Kist hit it, and I felt like he obviously didn't even know what was happening, what it meant. And then there was talk about it and all that, and when I was in the practice room for the last few days, and just going, all I was doing was chucking at 20s at one point, going, yeah, I can hit a 9-darter. Oh, just imagine that, rah, just a free 60 grand in the pocket. Oh, yes, I can buy a Rolex for a change. Anyway, I have to stick to my sundial. What is the time today? Anyway, yeah, it's a good 11:30, isn't it? Yeah.
Connor spoke previously about practicing with you on the Scully system and stuff like that. Is there any added pressure playing someone that you practice with so much? Yes and no.
I've been in these situations plenty of times. My whole DPA Australian tour, it's all my mates. I'm playing all my mates all the time, so I know what it's about. And obviously I put a post out there and, people jump on the bandwagon, don't they? Oh, he's written this and he's scared and... Oh, it's nothing like that, mate. It's tongue-in-cheek and all that. So I know what it's all about, and I know how good Connor is. And the build-up, he's been flying. He's got so much going for him. He's got nothing to lose at the end of the day, and he's got his tour card again. But this time it's a different story. So he will, he'll pull up trumps and he'll do some amazing things. So I knew what it was about, and we both. I didn't message him after the draw was done. That's it. We both didn't message each other, to be honest. So I didn't break and he didn't break. So we knew when we came into this game, it was just, it was all for all and just get the job done.
An excellent display of finishing from you today. 4 ton plus finishes, 52% on the doubles. Have you been practicing more on the doubles, or is it just great today?
No, I kept my same routine. I always do. I've got a routine going, and I practice a lot. Not as much as Connor, though. He does do 8 hours plus or whatever he does. It's crazy. He needs help. But for myself, I do 2 in the day, 2 in the arvo, or 2 plus. So I do get up there as well myself. Depends how I'm feeling, what's going on. But if anything, the only thing that I changed was in my night sessions, I do play game mode. So I'll play best of 5 sets against the computer or whatever's going on. I had one practice with Luke Woodhouse as well. Danny Lauby come down a couple of times. So I've had a couple of decent practices with them. But for myself, just normal routine stuff.
You touched on Luke Woodhouse there. You'll be playing him in the 3rd round after Christmas, a fellow Harrows player. Are you looking forward to that tie?
Yeah, 100%. We've had many battles on the golf course. He is a bandit, I'm not going to lie. But on the dartboard, we seem to have some good battles as well. So, it's sort of the similar situation. And I'm pretty sure he's been having a great year. There's no two ways about it. This is probably one of his best years, I'd like to say. And he hated feeling like what did he say? Like a imposter. And I felt like, this year he has come along as not the imposter, but yet actual proper dart player, and he's gone far. He's got a great action, but I've just got to treat it as like another game like tonight, and hopefully get the job done then as well.
Cheers, Damo. Thank you.
Cheers.
Damo, many congratulations. We know that you're a massive darts fan anyway. What's it like having to wait 6 days or to get here and then get involved in the tournament and watching it at home?
Yeah, when I watched the draw and everything coming out, I'm like, now I've got like 3 weeks. What am I going to do with myself? Because I'm always in the darts. I'm all about the darts, and I'm playing everything, as you know. I practice and play and do all that, but because to have the 3 weeks off, I'm like, what do I do with myself? It was hard. Well, not hard. Like, it was pretty easy because I just throw darts and I work out and I eat healthy and I do a lot of things. For me, in the last week building up to it, I've got some mates from Aussie. I don't know if you've seen in the TV. I had all my mates come along as well. So that was it was a massive boost. It was more. I didn't when they were here. I didn't practice as much. I still did my time, but I didn't do it as much. But I think that was more of a mental thing, having my mates here and having that time with them and talking about stuff. And I think. Yeah, that was really good because they were the guys that were here when I won the Brisbane Masters as well. So for them to be here and I win again, it's a bit of an omen. They might have to stay till the third, I would imagine. That's I'll have to pay for that, I would imagine. Yeah, I don't know.
You spoke about obviously the battle against Connor. Did you prefer knowing who you were playing rather than one of the other international qualifiers or something that you didn't know so much about? The fact that you knew his game inside out, was that an advantage?
I think it was pretty good. Yeah, I think I knew what I was up for. I knew I had to bring a tough game because it's a tough opponent. If I had a name that I didn't know and say I looked at his stats and they were say like an 83 for a season or something, that might have been in the back of my mind going, just roll up and get the job done. But it doesn't work like that at the Worlds. It does not work like that. Everyone loves an underdog. There's no two ways about it. You know what I mean? I could have gone 2-0 up and 2-0 up in legs to win it. The crowd would have been on my back if Connor got another one, or it could have been anybody. And then I think that's how the Worlds work and the crowd and all that. So to place someone that I know is such a brilliant player, it's a different mentality going in the back of your mind. That's what I think.
Another great year for yourself, a record high ranking for yourself. It could even go higher after this. How would you reflect on your year as a whole?
Yeah, I think it could be better. It could always be better, and I think that's probably how every dart player looks at it. It can always be better. With I think like last year I'd done a lot of damage, and then this year I've maintained a good standard. Not to get, I think probably the Euro Tour has just let me down. That's probably the massive one, and if I'd done half decent there, I think it could have been better. But a lot of TV tournaments, I've just had a bit of hard luck, or I've just missed out one or two legs, and that's where I've gained a lot of experience, and that's where I think I've grown as a player, and things don't faze me as much as it would have before. Cheers, thanks.
Damon, well done on the win. You said earlier you thought you were the underdog going into that match with Connor Scott. I'm just wondering what the thinking is behind that, because you've obviously achieved a lot. Connor's in great form, but in terms of the experience on that stage, you've got a fair amount more than him. Yeah,
I think people like to see what they want to see, and there's a lot of hype on social media and a lot of, like Wessel Nijman is what, 5th favourite? What's he won? Yeah, so it's things like that, No, not taking it away from the kid. 107 average in the group stage and not get through. That's ridiculous. That's very unlucky. Very unlucky. Great player and all that as well. But that's pretty much what it is. It's form leading up and all that. And Connor Scott, obviously, he made a quarter. He's playing well, 100 average, this and that, and this and that. He's got a great head on his shoulders. There's no two ways about it. But I just felt like I've been in this situation before. It's like the me and Josh Rock thing, and the opposite times it was me against Cullen. Like Cullen was the underdog against me, but yet he was a higher ranked player, and sure enough, he beat me a lot of times as well, and it just showed. So it feels like that situation, and that's how I felt tonight. And I knew I had to just bring my game, but yet try and own the stage, and very fortunate to get the win.
Obviously tonight, Luke Littler took quite a lot of the limelight, as you would expect. What was it like, sort of following his match, and did you feel any? How did the crowd feel compared to what it's felt before after following Luke?
Yeah, I didn't feel any different tonight. I probably did expect going, I'm following Luke Littler. He's probably going to average about 116. I'm just going to go in there, and half the crowd's probably left. Because they don't want to see bad darts. I don't know. It was one of those. It was one of those. It felt like he was just going to put on a massive show, and then everyone wasn't really going to stick around to watch us. But at the end of the day, it was, yeah, me and Connor, I felt like it was going to be a great tussle of a game compared to Connor and Ryan Meikle. And there's no disrespect to Ryan Meikle, but yeah, to be fair, he put up a good show, and maybe he should have won that first set as well. And Luke, I think everyone just knows what to expect and all that. So I felt all I was worried about was timing my game when I was going to play and when to get here and when to prepare. So I ended up making sure I got here an extra half an hour early than I did, just so if anything was to happen. And yeah, that was all I could say about that.
Well done, Damon.
Thanks, mate.
Well done, Damon, on the win up there. Next up is another practice partner of yours, Luke Woodhouse. You said you played a few games with him. It could have been Mike Dedeker, current major champion rather. Are you sensing that the draw's beginning to open up a little bit now? I mean, we know Luke's a great player, made a semi-final, but not a major.
Yeah, I think I just got to worry about every game as it comes because, yeah, I've been in that. Obviously, last year I lost to Scott Williams, just thinking on paper that opens up for myself, didn't it? But obviously I didn't rise to the occasion and lost. Yeah, what do? So I've got to just take it as every game as it comes. Mike Dedeker, I swear there was a lot of people, again, putting him as to make the quarters or semis, and obviously he didn't. I would love to have taken my revenge on him. I did miss a couple of darts there. Oh, you egg. Just like a double 12. What's wrong with you? Double 12, 60 grand. I'm sorry, 60 grand. Look. It's one of those, like Woodhouse, Dedeker. Like I said, Woodhouse is on a high. He's got a lot of confidence, fair play to him. Dedeker, he might have had a bit of pressure on his shoulders, thinking about everything that was to come with his win, and it just didn't happen for him. And everyone has them days. It's how it is. I've been there, and everyone else has been there. So.
Just wanted a quick word as well on Simon Whitlock. With what's happened here, he's not going to have a tour card next year unless he goes back to Q School. Obviously, he's been a legend of darts and specifically Australian darts as well. Can you just talk a little bit about Simon, what he's done for you? And
he's definitely put Australian darts on the map. He was the first man, wasn't he? He's the man to do all that. And if it wasn't for him, who's to say everything that's been given to darts in Australia would happen? It might, it may not have happened as of yet. You know what I mean? So it's all, fair credit to Simon. He's had a crazy good year. Crazy good years in general. Crazy good career. But he's not given up. I think he's going to Q School and he's playing in this and play. Like, he can't give it up. He just can't. He'd be in a crutch and on a wheelchair and still playing darts. Like, that's just what he does. He loves it. He absolutely loves it. So, fair play, Simon. Well done, mate. But we need more from Australia, doesn't it? Like, he's put it there. Now it's up to Australian darts, and now obviously I was seeing the other day that PDC have invested in like a Premier League, and oh man, this is only great for us. So we need these people to pull through now. This is it. Like you know what I mean? Like, this feels like a massive lifeline, and if it doesn't pay off, then we may never see something this massive again. So it's up to the people. It's up to people of Australia to go ahead and watch it, and it's such a massive lifeline.
Brilliant, David. Thank you.
Cheers, thanks.
Congrats, Damon. Just to bring up the underdog conversation again, obviously you were drawn in the same half as the Luke and Luke half, it's been said. Obviously everyone else has pretty much been written off in the entire section. Everyone predicts the Luke versus Luke semi-final. Is that something you read into, and how does that make you feel?
No, it doesn't bother me too much, mate. I know what I can do, and I've done it before. So, all I can, just like I said, one game at a time. And if I come up against a Luke, or I don't even know which one I've got. I've got one of them anyway. And then it happens. I'll just stick to my game, and hopefully I get in that zone and smash it up like I can.
You're obviously one of very few players to go onto a PDC televised stage and beat Luke Littler. In my opinion, probably the game of the season so far. Does that give you an edge going into this that maybe other people aren't looking at?
Well, I don't know. I think people like to stick to their game, and when it happens, there's a lot of players that can beat a lot of players, isn't there? There's no one. How many players would average over 110 on a pro tour or whatever? And as soon as they feel comfortable on stage, whether it's Ali Pali or any other stage, yeah, they can do it. They get that comfort zone. It's going to happen. And there's nothing you can do about it, is it? Like, there's no reason that Connor Scott tonight probably could average 120. You know, he's probably done it before. Yeah, so it's just timing, and everyone's trying to get up there and do their best starts at the best. Yeah, they're not going up there trying to play their B game, are they? You know what I mean? They're trying to hit 9 darters and give 60 grand. 60 grand. Yeah, they're trying to do that. You know what I mean? And it hasn't happened, obviously, for everybody. They're just trying to do it. And is there some clause on this 60 grand about like how many times they get hits or not? Or is it? Yeah, but like, wow, you're a real piece of work, Dave. Real piece of work. But nah, look, yeah, everyone, like I said, everyone's up there trying to do their best, and we're just, and that's it. Whether it's a Luke or not, I like to think people like to turn up against named players. It's normal. It's the normal case, isn't it? When you get a named player, Gary Anderson, Michael, and Luke, and all that, you just like to think that everyone likes to turn up and play their best game that they can, and I think like a good, 8-7 out of times that people do turn up for them games.
What was it like for you sharing that stage in Minehead with Littler? Like, obviously, the natural talent is there.
That was quite some time ago, mate.
Back there, did you?
I've played a lot of games since then. Don't you worry. Jeez. Wow. If I have to look back on YouTube, where's my phone? Have you got my phone, Dave? Jeez. Nah, look, all I probably couldn't remember is that I felt very determined and very, very. I don't want to say angry. I'd like to say determined, because all I kept doing was watching his darts, but thinking that I can do better. I can always do better, and just follow his darts and do better. That's all I felt on that game, and I just rated myself as a really good player. That's nothing too much. Yeah. Anyway, we have Accolade sponsor.
Damo, you've been cultivating this larger-than-life stage persona and having a large presence on social media with a lot of banter, as we would say. What role does that confidence and creating that support, especially with how tribal the UK and Australia is, mean to you on terms of the stage?
It's not as massive as Stephen Bunting, I'd like to say. He's very different gravy, isn't he? He's a character. For Australian audience, it's so hard. It's so hard because they're the opposite times. So it was like my old man probably had to got up at 4 this morning just to watch me, or 3 or something just to watch me. So it's a very hard audience to gather so I hope this gets replayed a lot, and keeps everyone interested in the dart situation. And that's where it takes a lot of Australian, New Zealand dart players, Antipodeans, to come across and keep promoting and keep doing well, because that's where we'll get the exposure, and that's where like I said, the PDC now is gone with the Premier League, so I hope that gets massive exposure and a lot of interest in, and people can accept that like darts is a life you can live just playing darts. It's insane. Like, people would never have thought, being in Oz, you can throw darts and make a living, and they probably still don't now. I mean, you can't do it in Oz, but here you can. So if we get that massive exposure, then it can be brought here. Yeah.
And I know recency bias, obviously coming off a win, but being an immigrant to a country so far away from home can be very tough, not just when you're winning or when you're losing. So with the dream and how long you've been chasing it, still love it?
Yeah, that's it. The massive thing, obviously, I don't have kids, so easy peasy. But I get to travel, and an hour's flight and I'm in a new country is insane, where an hour's flight from Perth, I'm still in like WA. It's just one of the perks of the job. You know what I mean? It's I don't see it as a job, but I love going for a practice. I like going to do everything that I need to do to be a better player, and it's worked so well for me at the moment. You know, things I've been going here and here and here. I've not had a massive setback. I haven't even stagnated, you could say. I feel I haven't stagnated, but I feel like I've been doing everything right, and I just always want to do better, and but at the same time I get to travel the world, and the massive sacrifice for my wife as well. That's the massive one. You know, she gets to see the world, and I get to play darts for a living. It's absolute insane. Yeah, insane.
Hey, Damo. Just wanted to ask you one question in regards to you've been on the tour for some time now. You've been climbing the rankings, and now you've put yourself in a position where you're going to potentially qualify for more World Series events as well as potentially a Premier League. What would that mean to you as a player?
G'day, Will. How about I tell you? Nah, mate. Look, it's just all. I don't know. It's all stepping stones for myself. I've never promoted like Premier League, you could say. Like I've never promoted it. But don't get me wrong. If it was ever offered, obviously I'm going to snatch it out of your hands. It's just how it is. As a dart player, you're going to go. Oh, of course. Why wouldn't I do that? You know what I mean? 17 weeks against the best players in the world. Yeah, on a stage, you're gonna snatch that right out of anybody's hands. That's what I'd like to think. But for myself, I've always just focused on. I've always focused on small things, so like the Pro Tour rankings. That's been my main focus for one point. I've never really worried about the main tour because that comes part and parcel. Because once you're Pro Tour rankings, you're Euro Tour, you're in that, you're in all of that, and then everything comes along there. So, but I always look back on the years what I've done, and I want to better it, and I want to better it every single in all the different aspects. But this year, my main focus was more about myself rather than outcomes. It was always about my health and making the right decisions and everything that I can control on stage, just doing that without the outcome. So, you know what I mean? If I'm left on 299, make sure I go the 19s, the 57 to the 18s, triple 18s, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Or just see where the other player are at and stuff like that. So, yeah, for myself, I've a bit of a learning curve this year. But, yeah, I'm all for darts. That's all it is. I'm all for darts, and I'm all for, making a massive career of it. Cheers.
Damon, here. Maybe I have an opportunity for you to get that 60 grand. Are you interested?
Well, mate, you put it on the table here. Do I get another dart at the double 12? Is that what you're saying?
No, what about Premier League? Because some of the typical contenders are struggling or out. Do you think you're already in now?
Oh, no.
So what are your thoughts on your chances?
The thing is, I think I have to do something good, I think, in the world, right? So I'd like to think that I'd have to get to, say, I'd like the quarters for a good talk, and the semis would be pretty close to being there. I'd like to think. But at the end of the day, like they say, it's the Premier League is it's an exhibition show, isn't it? You want to see... I don't know, the likes of Gezi Price, you know what I mean? Like, I know that he hasn't had a great year, but at the end of the day, you probably want to see him because he's given it all that and he's the bad guy and all that. I know I'm Australian and a bad guy, but nah, look, yeah, like I said, if it was ever offered, I would take it. There's no two ways about it. But no, I'm all for the rankings, and I'm all for doing what I need to do. That's why I've not done a lot of exhibition work, because I am focused on the main ranking system, and I want to get myself there.
But you would love to play there?
Oh, of course, yeah, why wouldn't you? Yeah, I would snatch it.
And your walk-ons and all this colorful stuff with your hair then and everything, was this kind of a preparation to get you in a position to get this call?
No, it was never about that, because you can see back, I don't know how far we're going back. We're going back anyway. It was all about me. I watched my games, right? I watched my games back in the day. And the only games that I really won was when I was enjoying myself, happy, and I was interacting with the crowd. I was having a joke. I was doing a little bit of a dance, and I was doing this. And that's where it all come about, was I've got to enjoy myself to play my best to starts, rather than coming out on stage. When I first come on the scenes, I was very rigid, and I was very all about every single moment, and every dart mattered, every leg mattered, and I'd get so down on myself because I think, everything, was very strict. But once I relaxed and I could see that I won things without just being relaxed and interacting with the crowd and not thinking about things, and that's where it sort of come about. And then it happened in a Euro tour where I come on and I started doing a bit of a dance and I won, and I'm like, oh, this is great. And then I started thinking about all the rest of the Euros, and what can I do here? What can I do there? And just I don't know, things just snowballed, and that's where I think where I grew as a player, knowing what I need to do, because obviously back in Oz, we don't have that. We don't have the stage presence. We don't have that sort of thing. So that's why I think with this PDC going with the 2 months of the stage that they're doing and the 8 players, the Premier League thing that they're doing there, it's going to be massive, and it's going to bring on the young players. It's going to bring on someone else to come over and go to Q School, and hopefully we get a few more Aussies or New Zealanders on tour, and it's the only way the game's going to grow down there. So yeah, massive kudos to PDC putting this on.
One.